Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Suzerain Let's Play. So last time we left with a bit of cliffhanger as we are investigating the affair scandal. Now we need to know if Livia is actually a spy. Both Peter and Livia have been acting unnaturally nice to me, believing I have let them off the hook for their affair. They seem to be avoiding each other in the hallway, so I was just settling in behind my desk when Lucian knocked on my door. Sir, a moment of your time? Of course. Lucian entered my office and closed the door behind him. Our security team traveled to Lockhaven to speak to the owners of the pub Miss Suno named. They confirmed that one Livia Suno had worked there. Their description of her did not match that of your secretary. However, it did match that of an unidentified corpse that washed up in Linkorg Bay 2 months before your inauguration. If that was Livia Suno, who's the woman working for me? Further investigations by our operatives in Rumberg matched Miss Suno's description to a woman named Ilana Vance, last seen graduating from the Krimsrad Political Science Institute. Our whistleblower from Rumberg recognized the name Vance as belonging to a deeply embedded covert agent, though he had previously assumed it was a man. How could we have missed all this? As mentioned, Miss Suno was hired without a background check. It's possible this all could have been avoided had any of Mr. Vecturn's blood flow been directed to his brain when he selected her. But none of that can be helped now. The question is, what are you going to do, sir? What do you think I should do? The standard procedure would be to try Miss Suno for espionage. If we do so, it's only a matter of time before the media pieces together what happened. What if there was no trial? Miss Gresner and his man could certainly take care of this in secret. This is rough. This is a good move to get rid of Peter, but doing so would damage our reputation as well. And we do look like a fool, having our secretary be an actual spy. We should continue to utilize our secret state police, and I think this is the right move here. A wise choice, sir. By take care of, you mean secretly arrest, right? I think you know precisely what I mean. If made to look like an accident, another covert assassination could solve our problems before it even starts. But I understand if you still harbor fond feelings for Miss Vance. That's not what I mean. I mean, we might get something from her, but apparently the choices do not agree with me. I don't need to kill Peter. He will be fired from this. I still think we should just arrest her. As you wish, I will call Mr. Gresner right now. Ought to be done by the end of today. Keep me informed. I still think she has value. Lucian nodded and walked out. I mean, if anything, we can trade her with Rumberg in diplomacy. I took a minute to gather my thought, then headed out of the office. My secretary was outside, typing up some correspondence at her desk. I've been nice. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Suno. She looked at me a bit strangely. No trouble at all, Mr. President. I took one long last look at her. Peter was about to receive some very unpleasant news. Well, I don't feel bad about replacing him as my VP now. That seems of the least we should do. We have a woman's right meeting. I was sitting in my office. I looked at the clock. 2:26 p.m. It was almost time for my appointment with Sierra on women's right. There was a knock at the door. Sierra entered the room with folders in her hand. The door did not close behind her. Monica entered the room and stood next to Sierra. Mr. President, Anton, before we start, I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to this meeting. I've been dreaming about this ever since I volunteered with the Swordish League of Women. I can't believe the moment's finally here. I think both of you together could finally bring change to Sordland. I hope you're right. Sierra sat down on a chair and laid down the folder she was holding. First off, Mr. President, I wish to thank you for pushing a decree on establishing gender equality in education. You know this is something I've been trying to accomplish since my appointment as minister. The situation in the public school was disturbing for me. With that said, we still have a long way to go before Swordish women are able to enjoy the same rights and privileges as men, or even as their counterparts in Arcasia and United Cantana. We've been lagging behind on this for decades, Anton. And this isn't only a moral issue. I've seen enough revolutions in this world to understand the main drivers of any change: money. She flipped a folder open and started pulling out documents. In United Cantana, law dictates that women earn the same wage as men in their respective fields. My research showed that this led to a 15.1% in productivity. You could say this had a direct influence on their superpower status. Arcasia passed laws ensuring maternity leave right, child daycare centers, and tax deduction for working families. In return, they experienced a 12.6% productivity boost and a flourishing economy. Both countries also have significantly lower infant mortality rates, a statistic I believe is directly linked to the improved status of women. Our administration has thus far failed to pull Sordland out of its economic recession. She leaned back in her chair. So I'm asking, why not try passing similar laws? At worst, even if they fail to improve the economy, it will still be a significant step forward for our society. It's only logical. Monica handed me one of the documents. It had a list of bullet points on it. The two of us talked it over, and these are the measures we believe are most urgently needed. I let my eyes wander down the list. Okay. Criminalizing domestic violence. I shouldn't have to tell you how crucial this is. It is utterly unbelievable that in this day and age, Swordish men are legally allowed to beat their wives. I agree, it's a travesty. I'm happy we're on the same page. As incidences are especially high within Buddhist communities, I would also advocate for setting up a special domestic violence task force in collaboration with the Buddhist women's rights organizations. Monica looked at her strangely. Are you sure that's something we ought to focus on? The Boods are different. They have their own rules. Monica, I'm surprised at you. We can't let women suffer under patriarchy, no matter their ethnicity. The Boods must conform to Swordish law. We can discuss the particulars once the law has passed. Support for working mothers? Sierra nodded. It simply isn't fair that women in the workforce are punished for having children. Remember what I told you about Janice, my friend who basically got fired for becoming pregnant? That would never happen to a man. Paid maternity leave and state-subsidized daycare centers could be the key to keeping more mothers employed. This is an interesting topic. I think it's good to have paid maternity leave. The state-subsidized daycare centers, given that our country nationalizes education and healthcare, seems fine too. The premise here is that these measures encourages childbirth, pushes for increased population, and eventually transforms into productivity down the line. Now, having them fired for getting pregnant is obviously not the way to go. I don't want to reward women for choosing work over raising their children. That's a personal choice. But this is a true statement here. Having children never hindered my career prospects. It shouldn't hinder a woman's either. But this is also a family issue. Like the fact that the man does not need to stay home to raise the kid. That's a cultural and family issue too. Exactly, moving on. Equal treatment in the workforce, that's an easy one. Right now, Sordland has one of the continent's largest pay gaps between men and women. We need legislation ensuring that a woman doing the same job as a man is paid the same wage. We would also introduce quotas to get more women into positions of power, in the assembly, for instance, or on the board of corporations. Eventually, narrowing the pay gap is a far more pressing issue, as it would bring financial independence to countless lower-income women. Sierra, we never talked about this, but I always thought that with more women in power, higher status for all women would naturally follow. Women are starving because they don't make a living wage. That's a damn sight more important than your friend Janice being passed over for promotion. Yeah, quotas, I personally believe, is a terrible idea to fix something like this. I am gonna go with this. Monica and Sierra looked at me strangely. Men are hired on the basis of their sex all the time, just not consciously. There are more than enough qualified women to fill any position you can think of. It's up to us to give them the opportunity. That covers all subjects. What are your thoughts so far? You made good cases for all these changes, thank you. If we can pull this off before the election, the Rayne administration will make history. Let's talk about how to proceed. I want to establish a commission for women's rights in Sordland with me as its head. Our goal shall be passing and implementing a set of laws to solve the problems we just discussed. As the commission's spokeswoman, my responsibility will be to make speeches and organize fundraisers. I'll be the face of this movement, while Sierra handles the groundworks. If I can show that the First Lady is behind this movement, many women will feel encouraged. Sierra gestured down at her outfit, especially those who aren't keen on pantsuits. The organization's name will be the Commission on the Status of Women. It's gonna be damn hard getting your laws past the assembly. I know, but even the watered down version will be better than nothing. You have a chance to be a hero. Think about Deanna and her future. I hope you will make the right decision. They rose from their seat expectantly. I took a few minutes to think. We will support this. This is our wife after all. And this is for the good of the country. Monica turned to her. That's all the excitement you can muster. You did it. We did it. Monica hugged Sierra. She smiled uncomfortably. It's not over yet, Monica. The true battle is in the assembly. We will celebrate once it is done. I will start gathering names for the commission tonight. Sierra started collecting her documents. She and Monica headed towards the door. Monica paused before leaving. I love you, Anton. I'll see you at home. I could hear Monica and Sierra talking excitedly at each other as the door closed behind them. I looked out my window over the city of Holsword. It was a clear day outside. Well, we're only president for so many years, and we're going to be with our wife for the rest of our life. And this is the right thing to do for country, for family, for daughter. So no regrets here. She became the spokesperson for the commission. 57. We are 4 years into our presidency. Elections coming up. We're on turn 8. Industrial zone might not get finished before the election. Our economy is bounced back quite a bit, but even with 5 points, we won't be positive, which is concerning. Oh, a donation from my wife. Honey, do you know that we're not rich? But anyways. The most influential women's right NGO, the Swordish League of Women, is organizing a massive fundraising campaign to raise awareness in Swordish society, has reached out to us personally for a private donation. Let's put our money where our mouth is. We'll give 1, and obviously go down to 0. Ray makes donation to Swordish League of Women. Anton Rayne donates to support women. Will policies follow? Well, we hope so. Mediation of a dispute in... Okay, so this word, some people have brought up to me. I know this is quite late into the game, but I'm recording quite ahead because it's actually very riveting, and I do want to play through and know the stories myself. And this is a French military police term that translates roughly to man-at-arms, and it's not gendarmerie, I think it's gendarmerie, like a ZH sound, which is a very interesting pronunciation, but military police. The dispute is between Ministry of Interior versus the Ministry of Defense controlling them, and the coordination between the police and them. I arrive in the city of Vesord with Peter after receiving an emergency meeting request from Isov and Lilius. I see the report of recent issue rose between the Swedish police force and the gendarmerie units in the city, or at the city. The report said operation against the drug trafficking gang in Vesord failed due to miscommunication. It's not hard to guess what this meeting was going to be about. We entered the city hall and made our way to the second floor. I could hear Isov and Lilia's voice echoing through the halls. I opened the door to the meeting room. The two ministers did not even realize. This is unacceptable. How dare the police meddle in the affair of gendarmerie? It was your men who started this ridiculousness and meddled with an ongoing police investigation. Their voices were getting louder and louder. Royal security is my jurisdiction, and your men were way outside of Vesord. Please calm down, let's discuss this. What is going on? Apologies, but Miss Graf here failed to understand her place. No, Mr. Lancia, you're the one who does not understand his place. If you continue to do so, you will pay for it one day. That's enough. Calm down, both of you. I'm trying really hard to stay calm, Mr. President. Miss Graf, you're pushing your boundaries. Lilius explained what happened. Mr. Gris was tasked with the investigation of the drug trafficking ring in downtown Vesord. We found the evidence of a drug stash located in the outskirts of the city. We had to act quickly to put an end to the criminals we have been watching for some time, so we immediately sent our police unit to catch them and found the drugs in the compound. Mr. Lancia, his gendarmerie, did not notify us that they were also moving against the same target. As the result, the criminals got away and we lost a month of progress. Isn't there a line of communication between you? There is, but the Ministry of Defense decided to avoid notifying the police department about this planned raid. The same could be said about you, because the report showed that you knew about the gang they're stashed in the countryside. I started tapping on the table with my fingers. So how do we solve this issue so it never happens again? I think this was the last drop. Eternal security matters should be handed to the Ministry of the Interior completely. We're called the Minister of the Interior for a reason. We can't let any more screw-ups like this happen again. She looked at me. I want the gendarmerie to be transferred to the Ministry of Interior. What? Woman, are you out of your mind? Isov turned red with anger. He composed himself after a moment. Can't these branches just try to improve their communication? Just saying. I believe I just told you the fix to the problem, Mr. Vice President. Well, but with all due respect, there is no other way. Ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I won't hand over the gendarmerie to her. Out of the question. Do you have a better solution, Isov? Whenever operations overlap, we should engage at a lower rank with the local officers on both sides. We could work on establishing that, but it still doesn't change the wrong system that exists now. No matter what, we need to eliminate this gray area and modernize our interior security. Now I see what is going on here. Livia set us up to create this incident. Livia bit her lips. That is going a bit too far. What proof do you have? There is no way that the police has arrived at the right time of a month-long search at the exact day and minute of the gendarmerie raid. This is conspiracy theory territory. It very much is a conspiracy theory. The kind of accusation is unheard of. It's nonsense. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word Mr. Lacia says, Mr. President. Heed my word, Mr. President. When dealing with these situations, you need to always look at who gets what out of it. I won't stand idle by these utterly ridiculous and baseless accusations. I don't have time for this. What is your decision? There will be no change. We're not, accepting the military for no reasons. You're making a mistake. Thank you for protecting the structure and authority of the Ministry of Defense. From now on, work together and don't fight among each other. I want capable and effective members of the cabinet. We'll do our best, right, Mr. Lancia? That's right, Miss Graff. I left the room to attend to my next scheduled meeting. Those two. League of Women extends thanks. The Swordist League of Women has thanked us for personal donation. The spokesperson said, President Rayne, thank you for your contribution to our cause, and the First Lady, Monica, who pushed our agenda forward on the national stage. That seems to be it. The Old Guard investigation report. The secret state police continued its investigation of the Old Guard. A few leads have been uncovered, revealing several low-level cases of corruption, as well as high-ranking party officials' possible tie to Bernard Sokar's assassination. That is interesting. That is new. Healthcare. This has always been a difficult thing. Let's see. Mr. President, I know this seems like a lot. Reviewing it shouldn't take more than a day. He measured the pile again. Or maybe 2. Very well. Thanks for bringing these in. No problem at all. They contain very important information about the status of our healthcare. Salary, spending, hospital reports, whatever you like. We can go through this together. Okay, let's begin. He continued. But I don't want to bore you, so I'll quickly summarize. Whew. So we have concluded our reports for the year. Our services haven't necessarily gotten better compared to last year's. We have missed several funding opportunities to extend our services in the country, leading to several issues being unresolved. Don't blame yourself, it was my decision. We are in this together, Mr. President. The ministry is trying to improve the efficiency where possible, even in this situation, I assure you. But as you can see, it hasn't been the best year for us at all. Then get to the bottom of it. I will do whatever I can. He cleared his throat. Now that I've given you the short summary, this is a very important there is a very important matter to discuss. Tan color package. Confidential. For the president's eye only. Polio outbreak in Bergia. Ooh. How bad is it? For now, it seems to be under control. We have put a few villages under quarantine. The total number infected is currently 1,467. The death toll so far is 23. If we have more outbreaks, the result will be trouble. We are not where we could have been in terms of our healthcare funding. With what we currently have, I'm afraid it might not be enough to curb the infection ratio. This is a very serious matter, Mr. President. Life of Swordist citizens are at stake. What can we do about it? We have done our research. There is a cure. A vaccination was recently invented in United Cantana by a doctor, and the formula has been made available for free in the entire world. No matter what people think about United Cantana, if the same thing happened in Arcadia, we will be paying the price for it. Unfortunately, because of the state of our current funding, we do not have the required material, and we don't have the capability to produce this vaccine locally, which means we'll have to buy it. It will be costly, but nothing comes before health. We will buy this. In this day of age of COVID, these numbers really is nothing, but this is the start of a pandemic, and we will cover the cost given our economy does look a bit better. You have once again proven you are the right leader for Sordland in my eyes. Right away, Mr. President. This is a great first step. But I'm afraid simply having vaccines won't help. We need to make sure they are administered. We need to implement a nationwide mandatory polio vaccination policy. With your order, I can immediately get to work to ensure we are doing whatever it takes. It might seem excessive, however, it is absolutely necessary. Let's do it. Excellent. Now, if you excuse me, I must get to work immediately. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. All right, let's see. Private prison. Maximum minimum security facilities. Smaller cells, stacked bunk beds. Conditions are bad. Probably slave labor as well. But it did provide one government budget. Protests against gender equality in education. Housewives are coming in record numbers to protest gender equality in education. The mayor, Curtin Lesty. I thought his name didn't have an I. This might be a typo. I'm fairly certain it did not have an I before. Oh, wait. We can find him. Yes, that is a typo. Curtin Lesty. Alright. He obviously is an old school type of guy and is against this reform, so he's organizing it. Fair Trade Commission opened in Hosur today, began coordinating with Central Bank, National Business Council, and the Ministry of Economy to get analysis of competition issues and potential legislation. The effort to bring fairness to trade and commerce in Sordland is led by a visionary small business owner who sued Heart of Sordland in an unfair competition bid and won in court. Oh, the big business won't like that, but it's fine. Less smoke bill. Amendment to the tax bill of 44 in order to increase tax revenue and reduce excessive amount of tobacco consumption. Section 1 impose a 10% tax on all tobacco packages will be increased to 30% on tobacco products sold in the country. Yes, we will sign this, not only for the money, but we're also trying to quit, remember? Time to smoke less. Oh yeah, 50s, right? People don't know smoking leads to lung cancer yet. Okay. What is our event now? Support Ashraf anniversary. This is an event that we don't know about. Let's see. The Remembrance rally of Ashraf anniversary is about to begin in Suzerain. The Buddhist movement is holding their largest rally yet to display their demand of strength. The administration can go to Suzerain to support the event with or without an armored convoy or not attend at all. We should not go, but it seems this region's famous for 30% of the electricity provided by the dam, thanks to 3 rivers coming down. The ism incident was forcefully moving them out of the way to build the dam. Triggered the formation of the Buddhist Freedom Front by the followers of the decreed Ashraf. We don't go to this. Yes, we did not go. He is their symbol for the ism incident. Alright, our economy dipped again. Maybe due to the tobacco tax, who knows. I walked to the White Room with a cup of coffee in my hand. My vice president had scheduled a meeting on the current political situation. And Peter stands up. Anton, morning. Take a seat. Alright, I got some updates for you on what we're dealing with politically. He pulled out a few documents from a briefcase and laid them on the table. Simon told me he's almost done with the new economic plan. He said he still needs some time with it. Personally, I think he's just trying to avoid human contact for as long as possible, but what do I know? At any rate, he will schedule a meeting soon to go over our options. I expect good ideas and even better outcomes. I'm sure he will deliver. Moving on. Those changes you ordered to the Supreme Court have been implemented. Mr. Didier Meyer has now begun his duty as justice. He's certainly going to be loyal to us, but that will only help us going forward. More importantly though, Haran Garassi has been selected as new Chief Justice. Let's hope Haran's better than Orso. He is basically Orso in a different robe with better hair, but we'll see. That's all for the court update. Next is time to talk about our election prospects. Right, here's the issue. Lucian insisted on being here for this part. How are you two getting along these days? How do you think, Anton? I mean, he's polite enough to my face, but... Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, his tone was nothing but cordial and professional, even as he's casting a withering stare in Peter's direction. The three of us sat down. Peter handed out a new set of documents. Mr. Rector, I'll let you take the lead on this. I will, Lucian, thanks. I just received the result from a voters poll I commissioned early in the year. To put it in plain language, it's not great. Bad even. The USB stand to lose up to 20% of the vote compared to last time around. Tell it to me straight, do we still have a chance? We still have a year to gain more votes, but we gotta think strategically. And if there's one area Mr. Vector excels in, it's thinking strategically. Do you have something to add, Lucian? No, pardon the interruption. Peter ignored him and shuffled some pages around. Looking at the demographic of the voter poll, you're falling out of favor with conservatives. Less than half of them are likely to vote for you. Unfortunately, you have next to no support from liberals. For better or worse, quite a few nationalists appear to vote for you. If you ever had any support from socialists, you'll be completely lost it now. Unsurprisingly, none of the Buddhist poll respondents said they plan to vote for you. Lastly, we can't expect vote from centrists and unaffiliated voters unless we do something to win them over. Lucian, what do you suggest? Thank you, Mr. President. This may sound like common sense, but a convincing enough campaign can succeed where policies fail. Even if you have opted not to focus on your campaign at the moment, I still advise you to seize every chance for exposure that you can. I'll take that into account. Good. One more thing. There is a not insignificant portion of undecided voters who don't care who occupies the Maroon Palace, as long as the economy is running smoothly. Propping up the economy just ahead of the election is a surefire way to win them over. It's all on Simon then. Partly, yes. Stability is key in allowing the economy to improve farther. Currently, the country is still struggling to develop due to instability. There are some worrying news. The Lothenberg group is up to something. My informant has been talking about frequent meetings happening between the oligarchies. Alright, Peter, anything to add? I mean, you could always start a war. I'm sorry, what? Hey, it worked for Seoul. We will need more allies first, of course, but if we won against Rumberg, we'd come out looking like heroes. Lucian, is he right? Of course not. Considering our current state of preparedness, goading Rumberg into armed conflict would cost us both voters and lives. I mean, I have no wish to start this war. I agree completely, Peter shrugged. It was just a thought. Was that everything, Peter? Yes, that's everything on my end. Good work, both of you. I'll see you shortly. When are we going to tell Peter that he's not running with us? BFF raid governor's office. Governor Byron kidnapped. Mandatory polio. Heron is going to be our next Supreme Court Justice. BFF captures Seoul. Damn. Oh, wow. So if we went without an armored convoy, things might have gotten really bad. This is a very big issue. Ooh. Salamander outpost in the town of Ribble has been targeted by BFF. Yes, we stopped polio, but we're getting bombed by domestic terrorist unrest. The bombing. 6 lives, 11 injured. Abandoned hideout with Kesh. Dam has been captured. Escape worker unharmed. 30 to 40 dismantle security. No demand. So basically it's a hostage situation. The hostage is the dam. Alright, we flattened the curve. Good for polio. So the governor, Felix Braun, has been kidnapped. This is unacceptable. Lines for polio. And we need to update on the unrest. Lilias entered the office and took a seat. She was frowning intensely. She didn't talk at first, just fixed me with a steady glaze. Then she did speak up. It was in a strained tone. Mr. President, we have a problem. Go on. This just came in. Here, take a look. Yes, you read that right. The Buddhist Freedom Front has taken over Seoul Dam. The dam currently provides 90% electricity of Bergia and its neighboring region. If they destroy the power station, I don't even want to think about the outcome. Thankfully, no casualties have been reported yet. We know they have taken the staff as hostage. What are their demands? We should be receiving a communication from them soon, Mr. President. I'm afraid that's not all. With a simultaneous attack, the Buddhist terrorists have raided the governor's office in Dyer and kidnapped Governor Braun. They're holding him hostage as well. Karl Kresner is on his way here now. He'll tell us what he knows so far. Ah, there he is. Status report? Mr. President, I'm so sorry for being late. Karl already informed the President of the situation. Do we have any updates? We just received demands from the terrorists. President Rayne, in the name of peace, we have taken hold of the Seoul Dam and the mayor of Dyer as our hostage. The free people of Buddhist have suffered enough under the tyranny of Sordland. Our villages were destroyed, our men and women assaulted, our children killed by our very own government in the name of this dam. We, the BFF, are with the people. We, the BFF, always defend the downtrodden. We, the BFF, fight for freedom. We, the BFF, are not like the Swedish government. We know compassion and we believe in a chance of reconciliation between our people. That's why we demand a delegation from the Swedish government to negotiate the price of our freedom. We are ready to sit at a table as equals. Make no mistake, we also know the true freedom comes at a cost. We will not hesitate to sacrifice as many lives as it takes to achieve our goals. If our demands are not met, we'll cut off electricity to the entirety of Bergia and Nargis region, along with the mayor's head. Take this as your final warning. Okay. As I thought, Mr. President, BFF is a threat against our nation. They must be completely eradicated. We will not negotiate with terrorists. Your orders, Mr. President. Infiltrate the dam quietly and take them out. No need to cause a ruckus, as you command. It's good to see that we're taking immediate action. Thank you, Mr. President. That is all I have for today. Do not let anything like this happen again. If you do, heads will roll. I know, you're the Minister of Interior. Think, how could this happen? Mr. President. Okay. Alright, we have 2 acts. There's no follow-up. I really need to know what happens over here. This is a big issue. But I guess we don't have anything on that. Let's do the security act first. It'll be quick. The lack of security due to the period of social upheaval calls for drastic measures proposed by the majority of Grand National Assembly. Allows the use of force whenever deemed necessary. The SA. Oh, Security Act. Suspicion-based arrests and confiscations can occur without warrant. Oh dear. This is a hard line act, but I think we actually do need this. This is a great time for the Congress to push this. Right after a dam being seized and a mayor being held hostage. We'll sign this. We better make sure we stay president to not be on the receiving end of that. Alright. Minister Hull and Menger has prepared a massive industrial expansion plan that could support several key industries in the country through the state investment. Sordland could become much more competitive and the hub for new industries with this initiative. Expand agriculture, locomotive, electronics, military industry. Cost 2 each. We will invest in something. Our economy just dipped down to nothing, by the way, but of these, electronics is the most attractive given that we are in the 50s. Cars are also big, but let's go for electronics. Dedicate investment to electronics. Gel swords researchers funded. Very own radio. Alright, we are not doing well, but hopefully things will turn around. Let us continue, I believe. Perhaps we were too hard on the Buddhist people. Supports entrepreneurs. Okay, so it's basically a government-sponsored incubation projects. Epidemic prevented, tobacco consumption reduced. The Buddhist uprising. Our economy is still in shambles. Let's see what we can do. Chapter 4. Checkmate. Oh, that's not a good title here. That might signal the end here. Let's see how we weather through the last year of our presidency term. Massacre of ethnic Vaugs living on the island? Oh, he's making that claim. To set up his invasion of the island for sure, but oh, okay. Women's Liberation Act. Criminalize domestic violence. State protection to abuse women. Equal pay for women in the workplace. Disallow companies from paying less or more for the same job title. Education system should provide equal treatment to both genders. Maternity leave. Oh, 2 government budgets. Let's do it. It was raining as Sergei dropped me off at home after yet another grueling day of work. A guard held an umbrella over my head as I walked from the car to my front door. Inside the house was completely dark. I flipped the light on the kitchen to find a note from Monica. Sarah had called her for a last-minute women's right meeting. She'd dropped Deanna off with a friend, left me some food for reheating. I took the pot out from the fridge. It was filled with unidentifiable grayish-looking stew. Evidently, Monica's excellent cooking had been the first casualties of her political career. Reheat the stew. Picks up a drink. Frank. Oh, I thought Mom would pick up. Your mom's works harder than I do these days. All right, Deanna's going to have a fit if you get rid of girls' handicraft class. There was a long silence. Oh, I got that record you sent me. Not bad for old folks music. Glad you liked it. How's Uncle Peter doing? He and Evelyn are divorcing. Oh, bummer. Not exactly a surprise, though. So, got a girlfriend yet? Not that's any of your business, but I might be seeing someone. She's no fan of yours, though, you know, with all the protests here. Well, I hope you're putting in a good word for me. Actually, Dad, I've been taking part in some of the protest. Let's do this. What? You make me look like an idiot. The way things are going now, you don't need my help to look like an idiot. If you have a problem with the way I'm doing things, take it up with me in person. Not everyone get a personal audience with the president of Sordland, Dad. It sends a more powerful message when I'm there with my fellow citizens. Well, message received. Just think about what we have to say, that's all I asked. I have to go. Try calling your mother tomorrow. Yeah, okay, bye, Dad. Ah. That is just very sad. Interesting. Is he angry that we have announced him as a Buddhist girl? He has nothing but trouble. Sending him to the state college might have been a mistake. The industrial city finally completes. Right, we do have a very, very tough security package. We have caused the credit downgrade. This is very bad. Private prison increases revenue. Good. Long lines, worker waiting in line applying for new opportunities. 40%. Those are good news, but they're not really reflected fast enough. Police overwhelmed in remote cities. Alright. The operation is about to begin in the dam. Trade regulations. Right, the debt crisis is huge. Record number of female students. We have a human dignity bill. Legalize the transaction which occur in non-registered business or other entities. Ah, prostitution. Not that I want to take a personal stance on this, but we can't really afford this budget call right here. And this is not urgent on our list of things. We have to learn to say no. Alright. Protect sex workers. Not exactly super high on our agenda. Alright, a storm was in the horizon. This was definitely a situation. The operation has been successful. The governor had been taken out and the dam unharmed. The armed rebel scene were eliminated. Thanks to the well-planned operation of the secret state police, we suffered 0 casualties. Also, one of the rebels who died in the operation was identified to be their current leader. We'll soon eradicate their group completely, Mr. President. Have no worries. At this very moment, our special teams are raiding numerous suspected BFF hideouts to find smaller groups before they can reorganize. Good. I want them all gone. For good. Of course, sir. You can count on us. Was there anything else? That's all for now, sir. Finally, some good news. We have successfully recovered the dam and saved the governor. Rich and standard rates Sordland rich and standards and poor, right? S&P rating system. Rich and standard in this world. Rate Sordland D-. That is absolutely terrible. Basically, our interest rate will rise, make money less liquid due to the increased interest rate, and it's harder for the economy to bounce back. Funding political youth group? No. Help us win the election with money. Well, this is an interesting situation because we actually have such a big budget issue that I don't think I can fix it anymore within this year. And maybe gaining this support is the right move. I'm thinking young swords. We're more nationalists than communists right now. Let's try it. Protect voting places? Yes, but it's also kind of threatening in a sense. Membership doubled. Grassroots movement. We're empowering the NFPs for sure, but they seem to be in my pocket too. For now. %15 tax on luxury good. 10% tax on conditioned sales, transfer of property for inheritance. Oh, please. Give us that +2 budget. Alcohol tax. Alright, we're signing all the sin tax, basically. That's going to bolster us back to -10. That helps. Rumberg plane warned inside airspace. Okay. We might actually end up getting that war eventually. Let's see what else is escalated. Definitely the plane. Arrived at Minister of Defense. War room. Oh, this is our first visit to the war room. David Lucian Valken Isov. Mr. Lancia, I advise caution. Going to war wouldn't help anyone. We must maintain peace in Sordland Eastern Makopa at all cost. What do you expect us to do? Sit down and do nothing? They're testing us. We must respond immediately, otherwise they'll think we are weak. Status report now. Mr. President, thank you for coming at this late hour, coming in at this late hour. There is a situation. Welcome, please go ahead and provide your report. Mr. President, approximately 20 minutes ago, Rumberg downed one of our planes with anti-aircraft fire from the ground. The pilot was declared KIA. The last recorded position of the plane was inside Swedish airspace. General Kruger, I mean no offense, but are we absolutely sure that is the case? Are you sure this happened within our borders? No offense taken. Here are the locations on the map and the report from the airbase. To answer your question, yes, we're absolutely sure. You can see here on the map the plane was down approximately 10 kilometers inside our border. We have calculated the trajectory of the gunfire. They started firing where our plane was within our border. The plane was down near Helgen. How dare they? This is an attack against our sovereignty. Mr. President, I must insist, we need to be calm. We must maintain peace. I agree, they're trying to lure us into their trap. We have enough military power to contest against this violation of international law. We should attack and down one of their planes in retaliation. Otherwise, we'll look weak and it will lead to more casualties. We cannot look weak. If we appear weak, we will jump on the opportunity. They will jump on it. We must order military retaliation immediately. I agree with the general. Mr. President, what are your orders? We will not invade them for this. We will diplomatically try to resolve this situation. We should have retaliated. If there's next time, I'm afraid that it will be war. We're showing weakness. Of course it will be a war next time around. I'm frankly disappointed, Mr. President. If we can't even retaliate after such attack, what will become of our country in the future? Peace must be maintained at all costs. I'm saying this as a man who's seen too many years of war. We're not the one that are attacking the peace. Regardless, it looks like your decision's made, Mr. President. I know when I'm not leaded, I will take my leave. I have an idea, Mr. President. We should hold a military parade to display our strength. I'm with Mr. Lancia on this one. This should work well as a deterrent. It will come in handy as a tool to de-escalate the situation. This costs money, right, guys? I do intend to strengthen the military. Apparently it didn't cost money. But, potential alliances. If they will give us 10 budget, we'll be up for it. We'll come back and discuss this next time. It seems to be alliance with one of the superpowers, perhaps, to strengthen our defenses against Rumberg. But that is the state of the world right now. It does not look good. We are in Chapter 4. We have excellent women's right. We flipped that from when we first took office. We have a crippling debt crisis that is very, very bad. We have a very healthy country. We took care of the protests forcefully. Corruption's the only issue because we didn't give money to the Justice Department. Rumberg's still a problem. Lack of allies. We failed many trade negotiations. Diplomatic pressure from Rumberg. Overall, we seem to have failed the economy despite being an economist. Both our backstory and the fact that I actually studied economy in college, but sometimes the choices you make aren't really about economy. Anyways, we'll jump back in here next time, and we'll see if we can find ourselves an ally and maybe some help with our budget. So until then, bye!